Okay, y'all, stop what you're doing right now, because Blueface just did the most Blueface thing he has ever done on a live stream. And Chrisean Rock was sitting right next to him when it happened. And Jaidyn Alexis is the one who ended up getting cooked on national internet. I'm telling y'all, this is not a drill. This is not a rerun. This is not one of them recycled clips that be circling every Tuesday. This is brand new footage, live, unedited. And Blueface said things about Jaidyn Alexis on that stream that I genuinely did not think a grown man would say out loud with a camera pointed at his face. And before I even get into it, let me warn you right now, if you thought the last situation was wild, this one right here makes that one look like a bedtime story. So sit down, lock in, and let me walk you through exactly what just went down, because there is not a single second of this you can afford to miss. Now, if you have been keeping up with everything Blueface has been doing since he got back home, you already know that the man has basically been living on livestream. He is on there every night, camera on, phone in his hand, Chrisean Rock draped over him like a designer coat, and the chat is always doing what the chat always does, which is stirring the pot until it boils over. And last night, the pot did not just boil over. It exploded, because somebody in his chat asked a very specific question. And that one question set off a chain reaction that dragged Jaidyn Alexis, her new boyfriend, her BBL, her body, her personality, and her entire lifestyle straight into the fire. And Blueface, being Blueface, poured the gasoline himself. Here's how it started. Chrisean Rock was on the stream, curled up right next to him, and out of nowhere she looks at him and says, somebody in the chat is asking why he was calling her on private, no caller ID, the night before. Just like that. Cold, calm, in front of thousands of people. And you could see the temperature in the room drop. Because Chrisean Rock is not the type to bring something up unless she is fully prepared to blow the roof off if the answer is wrong. And she looks him dead in the face, and she says, is your ex calling my phone? And then, and this is the part that made the internet lose its mind, she says, I thought you had a girlfriend, big bro. What happened to all that, man? Keep the same energy. Don't nobody want that stale situation. Come on, I'm with my man. And y'all, the way she said it, the confidence, the delivery, the shade, it was surgical. It was clean. It was Chrisean Rock in her final form. Now here is where Blueface makes his move. Because he is not stupid. He knows exactly what moment he is standing in. He knows this is a public loyalty test, in front of the chat, in front of the internet, in front of his brand new girlfriend. And there is only one answer that keeps his relationship intact, and only one answer that keeps him from getting dragged in his own comment section. So he leans in, he smirks, and he goes on offense. Not defense, offense. He looks at Chrisean Rock and he tells her, straight up, I have a better chance of calling regular and being answered than calling private. He said, unless they got you blocked, sweetheart. And then he asks, out loud, on stream, what person alive is dumb enough to block me? Block me? That's a blessing. And he lets it hang in the air. He lets the chat sit with it. Because everybody watching knew exactly who he was talking about. Every single person in that chat, every single clip re-upload, every single reaction video knew that name he was refusing to say was Jaidyn Alexis. And that was the shot heard around the internet. But he did not stop there. Oh, y'all thought he stopped there? No. Blueface just kept going. Because Chrisean Rock, still curled up on him, says she is tired of these girls bringing her name up. And Blueface hits her with the line that broke the internet. He tells her, they miserable, baby. They want your life. They want your life. And then he goes into a whole speech about how Chrisean Rock has a boyfriend now, meaning him, standing on business, cooking in the kitchen for her, being what he called a real man in her corner, while the other side, according to him, is out there making a fool of themselves trying to compete with something they already lost. And listen, whether you love Blueface or you cannot stand him, you have to admit, the man knows how to weaponize a live stream. He knows exactly how to turn a private argument into public damage. And Jaidyn Alexis was the target from the second the stream turned on. Now, this is where it goes from petty to personal. And I want you to hear me clearly on this next part, because this is the part that has the internet in a full chokehold. Blueface, on the same live stream, looked at the camera and said Jaidyn Alexis's BBL is botched. Botched. He used that exact word. And here is why that is completely wild. Because he is the same man who reportedly paid for that surgery. He is the one who took her to get it. He is the one who bragged about it back in the day. And now, because he has moved on, That same surgery is suddenly the punchline of the entire stream. He even sat there and told Chrisean Rock, "When I get you one, sweetheart, it is not going to come out looking like that." And chat was screaming. Because there is a very specific kind of disrespect that only happens when a man decides to make his ex the joke in front of his new girlfriend, and Blueface just wrote the manual for it live in high definition. And it did not end there, because Blueface then turned to the chat and started digging into the cost. He said Jaidyn Alexis paid $30,000 for that BBL, $30,000. On camera. He said the number out loud. He even said it should have cost like $7,000 or $15,000 at the very most, and instead she got charged $30,000. And then he looked at the camera and said, "Refund me the $30,000. Refund me the $30,000. And Chrisean Rock is on the couch laughing, and the chat is going insane, and Jaidyn Alexis had not even logged on yet. But everybody in that stream knew that clip was about to travel to every corner of the internet before sunrise. And listen, whether that number is real, whether it is exaggerated, whether he made it up on the spot, it does not matter, because the damage was done. The clip is out. It is running. Every gossip page has it. Then he aimed at somebody else. Because he was not just done with Jaidyn Alexis. He wanted the boyfriend too. Jaidyn Alexis, if you have not been keeping up, has been seen with a new guy recently, and Blueface went out of his way to describe this man in the most disrespectful way possible. He called him lame. He called him low grade. He called him a school kid. He said this man does not even like Jaidyn Alexis like that he is only around for camera time and clout points. And then Blueface flipped it and said his girlfriend has real, high-level men trying to shoot their shot with her, and that Jaidyn Alexis is out here dealing with the bottom of the barrel. He said the boyfriend on camera looks stiff, uncomfortable, like he is only there for the follower count. He said they should not even be compared. And then he hit the button that made the entire internet go feral. He said, "They will not even kiss those girls on camera. They will not even kiss them. On camera." That is the line. That is the one you are going to see clipped 1,000 times on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, on every reaction video on YouTube, because that one line is a nuclear strike. Blueface is basically saying, the man Jaidyn Alexis is with will not even publicly show affection, while he, on the other hand, has Chrisean Rock all over him on stream, kissing him, sitting on him, calling him her boyfriend, on camera, no editing, no shame. And whether you agree with the point or you do not, you cannot pretend the shot did not land. Because it did. It landed clean. It landed hard. It landed exactly where he wanted it to land. And Jaidyn Alexis, who was not even in the room, took the hit. Now let me tell you what Jaidyn Alexis did next, because she is not the type to just take a shot and eat it. She got on her own live not long after, and she came in swinging. She insinuated, straight to her audience, that Blueface has been trying to reach her using another number. That is a direct claim. That is not shade. That is not a subliminal. That is her saying, on camera, "This man is calling me on private numbers behind his girlfriend's back." And that is exactly the moment Chrisean Rock caught wind of it and asked Blueface point blank on stream if he called her. And Blueface, being Blueface, did not exactly admit anything. He deflected. He denied. He rebranded. He said he would not call her if she was the last person on earth. He said his girlfriend is real, and he called Jaidyn Alexis low grade. Low grade. On camera. About the mother of 2 of his children. And it gets worse. Jaidyn Alexis went further on her own live. She said Blueface cannot see the kids. She said it plain. She said he does not get access. And she brought up something even bigger, which is that Blueface, according to her, leaked private tapes. Private footage. And she is not letting that go. She wants people to understand that this is not just a gossip fight. This is a betrayal. And she wants the audience to know exactly what she is angry about and exactly why she is choosing to put distance between him and the kids. And then Blueface, instead of trying to smooth it over, said something that sent the whole conversation into another dimension. He said, and I want you to really hear this, he said he is not worried about seeing the kids because he is focused on his new family with Chrisean Rock. His new family. That was the phrase. New family. And that phrase alone hit the internet like a freight train. Because think about what that phrase means when you say it in public. Think about the emotional weight of a man, on live stream, telling his ex, the mother of his older children, that he has moved on to a new family. That is not petty. That is not funny. That is a line. That is a wall. That is him closing a door and locking it in front of every one of her fans, on camera, in real time. And whether you side with Jaidyn Alexis or you side with Chrisean Rock, you have to admit, that is an emotionally devastating sentence to hear from the father of your kids. And Blueface said it like it was nothing. Like it was a punchline. Like it was just another Tuesday night on his live stream. Now the chat, of course, is doing what the chat always does. Half of them are cheering Blueface on. Half of them are screaming that he is out of line. And a very loud third half, if I can call it that, is sitting there saying, wait a second, why is he bringing up Jaidyn Alexis this much if he does not care? Because that is the question, isn't it? That is the loop. That is the thing every single person in that comment section is trying to figure out. If Chrisean Rock is really the prize, if Chrisean Rock is really the winner, if Chrisean Rock is really the one, then why does every single one of these streams somehow orbit back around to Jaidyn Alexis? Why does the man who claims he has moved on spend more airtime on his ex than on his current girlfriend? That is the piece the internet is chewing on right now. Because Blueface is on record, repeatedly, saying Chrisean Rock is his girlfriend, Chrisean Rock is the one, Chrisean Rock won the battle, Chrisean Rock is the prize. He said it on the stream in so many words. He looked her in the face and told her, you are the winner. You come first. Making you a priority is not being selfish, it is just what you deserve. That is what he told her. And Chrisean Rock, of course, is glowing. She is soaking it in. She is riding that wave. She is on the couch smiling, throwing shade at Jaidyn Alexis, telling her audience that these other girls are miserable, that they want her life, that they want to be her. And you can see the confidence in her. This is not the Chrisean Rock from a year ago. This is a different woman. This is a Chrisean Rock who feels like she has finally won something. And Blueface is feeding that fire on purpose. But then, in the middle of all of it, Chrisean Rock throws in one line that people almost missed. She said, out loud, that she wants a BBL, and Blueface immediately shut it down. He said no. He said, cost too much. He said, I'm not putting you on that table, sweetheart. And listen, I know that might sound like a small moment, but pay attention to what that actually is, because that is Blueface using Chrisean Rock's body as another dig at Jaidyn Alexis. He is basically telling the audience, my new girlfriend does not need surgery, and if she ever did want surgery, I would not let it come out looking like the last one I paid for. That is the message. That is what he communicated, without saying it directly. And every woman in that chat picked up on it instantly. Because Blueface does not talk in a straight line. Blueface talks in shots. And every single shot last night was aimed at one person, and her name is Jaidyn Alexis. Now let me back up and put this in context, because if you are new here, if this is the first Blueface, Chrisean Rock and Jaidyn Alexis situation you are catching, you need to understand something. This is not a random flare-up. This is a long, complicated, high-stakes triangle that has been running for years. Jaidyn Alexis is the mother of 2 of his children. Chrisean Rock is the woman who came in during that relationship, had her own child with him, went through her own explosive on and off cycle, and has now, at least publicly, taken the crown as the official girlfriend. That is the current landscape. That is where we are. And every single time Blueface goes live, the audience is not really watching a stream. They are watching a war between 2 women, and he is the one holding the microphone. And here is the part that nobody wants to say out loud, but I am going to say it right now. Blueface is doing this on purpose. This is not accidental. This is not just a man being messy. This is a man who understands exactly what his audience clicks on, exactly what makes his numbers spike, exactly what keeps his name at the top of every gossip page for another 24 hours. And drama between Jaidyn Alexis and Chrisean Rock, with him standing in the middle, is the single most viewable topic on his entire brand. So when he sits on that live stream and starts calling Jaidyn Alexis's body botched and calling her new boyfriend lame and saying he has a new family, that is not just talk. That is content. That is strategy. That is a man who has figured out that the more he pokes his ex, the more the internet feeds him. And Jaidyn Alexis knows it too. That is why her responses are getting sharper. That is why her lives are getting louder. That is why she is not just letting the dig slide anymore. She is coming back with her own claims. She is saying he called her on private. She is saying he leaked her tapes. She is saying he cannot see the kids. She is drawing lines. And every line she draws, Blueface reads on stream and turns into a joke for Chrisean Rock to laugh at. It is a cycle. And the cycle is feeding itself right in front of us. Now I need y'all to sit with something. Blueface said on that stream that his girlfriend has millionaires trying to claim her. That is a direct quote in spirit. He said she has real interest, real attention, real value. And he compared that to what he described as low-level, local, small-time attention that Jaidyn Alexis is dealing with. And whether that is true, whether it is exaggerated, whether it is complete fantasy, it does not matter, because the perception is the point. He is not trying to prove a fact. He is trying to plant a feeling. And the feeling he is planting in that audience is that Chrisean Rock is up, and Jaidyn Alexis is down, and everybody watching that stream should agree with him or be labeled a hater. That is the psychology. That is the setup. That is why the clips are running the way they are running. Because Blueface is not just insulting Jaidyn Alexis. He is training his audience to view her a certain way. He is repeating certain words over and over. Low grade, botched, miserable, stale. He is stacking that vocabulary on top of her name every single stream. And after enough streams, that vocabulary becomes what people think when they hear her name. That is not accidental. That is a very calculated pattern. And Jaidyn Alexis is aware of it. Chrisean Rock is enjoying it. And Blueface is directing it. And in the middle of all of it, there is a bigger, uglier truth that nobody is talking about. So let me be the one to say it. There are children in this situation. Multiple children. His children. And every night he goes live and turns their mother into the punchline of the internet. Those kids are one Google search away from seeing it. One classmate away from hearing it. One TikTok scroll away from watching their father call their mother's body botched. And I am not going to pretend that is not part of this story, because it absolutely is. Jaidyn Alexis brought it up. She said he cannot see the kids. And whatever you think about that decision, whatever side of that debate you land on, the reality is, the way Blueface is choosing to speak about her publicly is going to shape how those kids see this whole thing when they are old enough to look it up. And that is a heavy weight to hang on a livestream joke. But Blueface, of course, brushed all of that off. He said he is not worried about seeing the videos. He said he needs to be seeing his kids, not the videos. He said, as far as he is concerned, he is not going to chase it. He is not going to beg. He is not going to fight for access on camera. And Chrisean Rock backed him. She said, out loud, that he does not have to. She said Jaidyn Alexis is only using the kids as leverage because she is mad. She said Jaidyn Alexis messed up her own situation. She said Jaidyn Alexis is bitter, jealous, and trying to compete with a woman she cannot compete with. And chat ran with it. Every clip is now traveling with Chrisean Rock's version of events, not Jaidyn Alexis's. And that is another win Blueface engineered without lifting a finger. Now here is where I want to slow down and talk to you, real talk, for a second, because I know somebody in this chat is going to say, why are we even paying attention to this? And I will tell you exactly why. Because this is not just gossip. This is a case study. This is a real-time example of how public relationships get weaponized. This is how modern celebrity beef actually operates. It is not about who is right anymore. It is about who has the microphone longer. It is about who controls the narrative on stream. It is about who can turn the other person into a meme before they even log on to defend themselves. And Blueface, right now, is winning that game. That is the story. That is why everybody is watching. And I have to be honest with you, watching this whole thing unfold, I keep going back to one detail. Blueface, in the middle of insulting Jaidyn Alexis, kept looking at Chrisean Rock and telling her that she is the prize, that she is the winner, that she comes first, that making her a priority is not selfish. And on paper, that sounds sweet. It sounds like a man being romantic on stream. But if you really pay attention to the pattern, you realize he is only saying those things when Jaidyn Alexis's name is in the room. Every compliment he throws at Chrisean Rock is being used to bury Jaidyn Alexis. Every romantic sentence is a comparison. Every declaration of love is really a subliminal aimed at somebody else. And that is the piece of this whole story that has me stuck. Because that is not love. That is leverage. Chrisean Rock, whether she notices it or not, is being used as a mirror. Every time Blueface pulls her closer, he is showing Jaidyn Alexis something she cannot have anymore. Every time he calls her the winner, he is calling somebody else the loser. And Chrisean Rock is enjoying that. She is enjoying being the winner. She is enjoying being the prize. She is enjoying watching her name sit on top of the food chain. And who could blame her, honestly, after everything she has been through publicly? This is her moment. This is her victory lap. But there is a version of this story a year from now where the same man doing this to Jaidyn Alexis on stream will be doing this to Chrisean Rock on stream. And everybody watching this right now knows it. Do not act like you do not. Because the pattern is right there. Blueface, throughout his entire public run, has always had one woman on the pedestal and one woman as the punchline. Always. The names change. The seat does not. Right now, Chrisean Rock is on the pedestal, and Jaidyn Alexis is the punchline. But there was a moment where those roles were reversed. There was a moment where Jaidyn Alexis was the fiancée, the wife-to-be, the mother of the family, and Chrisean Rock was the one being insulted on every livestream. And now that has flipped, and nothing is stopping it from flipping again. That is the loop. That is the machine. Now let me bring it back to the moment, because this whole situation is still developing in real time. As of right now, Blueface is doubling down on his stream. Chrisean Rock is riding the wave and shading Jaidyn Alexis in every clip. Jaidyn Alexis is going live, telling her side, saying he has been calling private, saying he leaked her tapes, saying he cannot see the kids, saying his new girlfriend is second, saying he is only doing this for the clout. And the internet, all of us, are sitting here refreshing every single one of these pages waiting for the next clip. Because that is what this is now. It is a serial. It is an ongoing show. And each episode is more explosive than the last. And I want to give you my honest read, because that is what you come here for. Blueface is playing a very dangerous game on livestream. And the reason it is dangerous is not because Jaidyn Alexis is going to hurt him. The reason it is dangerous is because the internet has a very short memory when you are winning and a very long memory when you are losing. Right now he is winning. He has Chrisean Rock. He has the audience. He has the clips. He has the algorithm feeding him. But the second any of that shifts, the second the momentum flips, every single one of those insults he threw at Jaidyn Alexis becomes evidence against him. Every single one of them. The botched joke, the 30,000 line, the refund line, the new family line, all of it. And the internet does not delete. The internet screenshots. And Blueface, of all people, should know that better than anyone. Now before I wrap this up, I want to hear from you. So I have 3 questions, and I want you to leave your answer in the comments below, because I am reading every single one. Question 1. Do you think Blueface actually called Jaidyn Alexis on a private number? Or do you think Jaidyn Alexis is just trying to plant seeds in Chrisean Rock's head to break them up? Question 2. Do you think Chrisean Rock is the winner in this triangle? Or do you think she is being used as a weapon against Jaidyn Alexis with a smile on her face? And question 3. And this is the one I really want to know. Do you think Blueface should have any access to the kids given the way he is speaking about their mother on stream? Drop your answer. Do not hold back. I want the real one, not the polite one. I will be watching every single one of these lives, so you do not have to. I will be pulling every single clip. I will be reading every single comment. And I will be back with the next chapter the moment something new drops. Because this trio is not slowing down. If anything, they are speeding up. So do me a favor before you swipe. Like this video. Subscribe if you have not, because there is another drop coming within the week, and I do not want you catching it late. Turn on notifications so you are the first one in the room when it does. And most importantly, tell me down below who you think is really running this triangle. Because it is not the person you think it is. And in the next one, I am going to prove it. Stay locked in. This is nowhere near finished.